I'm Pastor Andy of the Village Church, and today's message is entitled, Don't Waste Your Mind. Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 16, but we have the mind of Christ. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. We've all probably heard that slogan before. It dates from 1972. It was the central theme of an advertising campaign for the United Negro College Fund. It was designed to support students at historically black colleges and universities, or HBCUs as they're known today. The theme called attention to the barriers to educational attainment in the African American communities during the Civil Rights Movement. It also served as a motivational catalyst for African Americans and other marginal groups to pursue educational excellence and intellectual development as a means for empowerment and social progress. Certainly the slogan carries its own weight and is irrefutable. Who would contradict it? And, of course, it applies not just to African Americans, but to all humans, regardless of race or ethnicity. Everyone who has a mind, every human. But what kind of mind? The mind as such is a central faculty of every human soul. It is the center of our intellect, but also of our desires, aspirations, values, and dispositions. And as a human faculty, like all human faculties, our minds have been affected by the fall, corrupted, in fact. We learned that in our study of Romans. Paul writes in Romans 1:21, for although they knew God, they did not honor Him as God or give thanks to Him, but they became futile in their thinking, and their foolish hearts were darkened. But of course, we didn't need Paul to teach us that. We've known that intuitively. We know it by experience, our own experiences, and by observations of others' experiences. Without our minds being redeemed, we are in danger of wasting our minds. Our minds might be wasted regardless of our educational attainments. Minds can be wasted by our lack of education, or our minds might be wasted in spite of the best education. Brilliant minds can be wasted minds. The only way our minds will not be wasted is when our minds are renewed and our minds become conformed to the mind of Christ. Paul says in Philippians 2:5, have this mind among yourselves, which is yours in Christ Jesus. The first step in having the mind of Christ is having a humble spirit. Paul goes on in that passage to say, have this mind among yourselves, which is yours in Christ Jesus, who, though he was in the form of God, did not count equality with God a thing to be grasped, but emptied himself by taking the form of a servant. Philippians 2:5-7. It is the same message Paul is teaching in Romans when he says, I say to everyone among you not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think with sober thinking. Romans 12:3. So don't waste your mind. Think with humble thinking. Think with the mind of Christ. For Christ never wasted his mind. Thanks for listening. I'm Pastor Andy.